Welcome to another Monday Match Points. I'm Jeff Stouse with the NSAA, and I have the usual crew with me today. We have several topics that we want to get to, and I'm going to start off with something that I've been getting a lot of questions and calls about, and that's illegal uniforms. I've had some conversations with the National Federation. There's actually outdated language that is still in the rule book, which I think is causing a lot of the confusion that we are seeing this season. In Rule 424C, I believe it is, where it talks about the number on the uniform, there's some outdated language that's still being included in the rule book. And so what we're seeing is a number of schools have ordered jerseys where the trim is the contrast, which is something that used to be allowed before the new language took effect. And so I continue to get emails from officials that have witnessed illegal jerseys. And so what I will tell you is, continue to notify me of that information so that I can get in contact with the schools, but we're not going to penalize the schools for these jerseys because they're going off of bad information. I don't want to punish our schools for the NFHS having bad information in the rule book. And so if you continue to see those throughout the season, just please let me know. I will work with the school on that, but don't penalize them at the start of the match for having an illegal uniform. Just let me know, and then I'll work through them. But that's going to be an ongoing issue because we have several schools that have just ordered jerseys and they did so with bad information, and that's not their fault. So we'll continue to try to take care of that. But thank you to those of you that have made me aware. I've had some good conversations with schools this year on that, and we'll continue to handle it that way moving forward. Along those lines, one of the other things that has come up many times is questions about duplicate numbers in sub-varsity competition, student match limitations, those kind of things. And I've talked about it on these videos before, but all of that information is available in our volleyball manual, which is on the volleyball page of our website. And I think most of the time folks believe that that manual is tailored to just our schools, but there is some information for officials in there as well. So if you're looking for some info, feel free to pop open that manual and take a look at it. There's some good information in there, some deadlines and dates for postseason as well. And then as always, if there's questions about NSAA specific information, just contact me. I'll be happy to try to answer your questions. So with that, I'm going to kick it over to Ken.
Okay, good afternoon or good evening, whenever you're watching the Monday Match Points. The four of us, Jeff and Kim and Craig and I, have talked several times, and all the time we talk, we just want to give you officials a shout out. We really appreciate your work. We know you're kind of in mid-season here, and we know you're driving miles and spending hours away from your family at home. And again, we just want you to know that we really appreciate you and that we are here for you. So with that being said, I just want to cover just one small thing, and it's the joust at the net. The joust, of course, is a simultaneous contact by opposing players. If you want to reference it, it is in the rule book. It's Rule 946, and what we're going to talk about is when there's a joust of the net, play will continue, and if the ball, whatever side the ball falls on, it's assumed that the player on the other side of the net made the last contact. So if it falls in or falls out, the player on the other side of the net made the last contact. However, the question has come up, what do we do if there's a joust and the ball rolls along the net and hits the antenna and then falls? As soon as the ball hits the antenna on a joust, it's a dead ball. It is over and we're done. There's not a point awarded to either side. And with that, we would have to replay that joust if it hits the antenna before falling. So I hope that helps some of you out. Craig?
Yes, one of the things that I was wanting to talk about as far as like mechanics goes is the giving fore help. So let's say that there's, especially on the R2 side, obviously a lot of times you may have a better view of a fore hits when it's far away from the R1. So one of the things, and I even witnessed myself this weekend doing it, is I call it a traveling fore. So I'm giving the fore help, but what I'm doing is I'm transitioning over to the offending team's side, which we don't want to do, because what happens is you get stuck behind the pole and the R1 doesn't actually see that you're giving them for help, especially if you don't have headsets on. So one of the things that we do not have to do in high school is get to the offending team side, which we want to as many times as we can. But here's a good example. So as far as the four hit, if you see that there's four hits, go ahead and give the help and stay on the side so they could see you. Now, I will also say that there's a possibility that the R1 thinks that there was a touch. And so if they keep playing, just go ahead and drop the 4 and you just keep playing, obviously, the play. But that's just one of the things that I even caught myself this weekend doing is getting stuck behind the pole, giving the leading 4. Kim, do you want to talk about another one?
Yes, I just would like to bring up when warm up is happening, we usually give a 15-second warning whistle. And then there is the buzz of the horn that allows the teams to either go on or off, or, go on to with their group or their team before coming onto the court. Just remember that 15 seconds is a warning whistle. Their actual time doesn't start until the horn goes off. Or if you're in a tournament, it's a double tweet for the 15-second and one whistle or long whistle for them to start their warm-up or their time on the court. And sometimes you might want to just remind the teams of that situation, because a lot of teams think that's their time to go off or go on with that 15-second warning. And so I think it's just an education component with the coaches and the teams, but just so that they know it's a warning whistle and then the horn and then they're on. So just wanted to go over that.
I think that's good information. One thing that I think we've noticed over the course of, now this is our second year doing these videos, is we have some folks maybe even outside of the officiating world that are watching this. And so if we have some coaches watching the video either today or later on this week, feel free to have that conversation as well with your kids so that they know that that whistle doesn't mean you have to stop. It just means you're about ready to stop. So with that, that's the end of our video today. We'll be back next week, hopefully, with some new topics, and we'll keep moving on towards the end of the season. I hope everyone has a great week, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.